Diddy is a wolf in sheep clothing. Rolling Stone conducted a 6-month investigation on Diddy, and they found that Diddy unrolled some stones, or should I say, unrolled some boulders. In fact, they uncovered so much dirt on Diddy, they now call him Mr. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde because of his bipolar-like demeanor. See, the thing about Diddy, he's like a faucet, a broken faucet. He's either super cold or super hot. They call him either super nice, violent, or vicious. Find out the gruesome details behind the Diddy investigation by Rolling Stone.
Don't nobody go in the bathroom for about 45 minutes.
You done fucked up, you know that, don't you?
You got knocked the fuck out! What's happening?
The Rolling Stone's 6-month investigation of Diddy, they found some untold secrets. Yes, they found some hidden truths about Diddy, and they are jaw-dropping. So Rolling Stone decided to conduct their own investigation about the Diddy sex trafficking drama in light of the ongoing federal criminal investigation. Now, some of their discoveries are going to blow you away. Rolling Stone's investigation of Diddy was thorough. It was detailed, and it went all the way back to the 90s. Diddy has been celebrated by many over the years, and some label him hip-hop's showman, seemingly loved and respected, but more so back then than now. See, now several former friends, employees, and bad boys artists are describing Diddy as an abusive and violent figure behind the facade, according to Rolling Stones. And they put the post up on X. Now, just so you know, Rolling Stone conducted a thorough and detailed investigation in which Rolling Stone reached out to hundreds of Diddy friends and associates while conducting over 50 interviews with Diddy employees, artists, friends, acquaintances, and industry insiders. Of course, there were many who pleaded the fifth. Like, they just like, look, I don't want to have no parts of this. I want to stay as far away from this as possible, trying to stay clear of the drama. However, the people that did talk, they had plenty to say. Now, during the lengthy interviews, you can imagine that there was a lot that was said. But what was consistently said across the board was that Diddy has a dark side and he could be a very menacing man. They said Diddy desperately seeks acceptance and admiration while demanding devotion and loyalty from others. Just hearing that is just strange. Like, this is a crazy kind of thought process. In other words, this is what they really saying. In other words, Diddy is a crazy, impulsive sociopath who only cares about himself. So this is how I sum all of this up. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Rolling Stone's investigation was thorough, even going back to Puffy's days in college at Howard University in DC. Now, Diddy's acquaintances from college recall several episodes of alleged violence and rage from Diddy. It's been well documented about Diddy's jealous fits of rage aimed towards people for some of the smallest and insignificant things. He's ultimately sensitive and insecure, right? Like complimenting his girl or offering her a kind gesture. That could get someone damn near killed in front of Diddy if they offer a compliment or even look at someone that he's with the wrong way. And there's been allegations of him actually doing this and hurting people and ruining their property from a simple gesture to one of his girls. So Diddy is definitely hyper insecure. Rolling Stones, they uncovered a detailed incident in which Diddy allegedly beat a man to a pulp after he was a record executive. In fact, after he started dating his ex, the late Kim Porter, and this was after Diddy and Kim had separated, had broken up. So can you imagine the audacity? He beat this man, almost killed this man, and this man thinking he's not doing anything wrong. Okay, I'm dating a single woman. I'm not worried about her past, but this is the sociopath in Diddy. It's not about dating or relationship. It's about ownership.
Yes!
That's what sociopaths do. That's how they think. That's how they operate. Diddy, you're the devil. After nearly beating this man to a pulp for simply having a relationship with his ex, the late Kim Porter, Diddy is all over the place, indecisive, controlling, and double-minded. Diddy is the devil. In fact, Diddy was also allegedly very abusive toward his ex, the late Kim Porter. Diddy is accused of smothering Kim's life to the point she was like a slave, right? Unable to think or move freely for herself. Now just think for a second. Isn't this some of the same allegations that Cassie and some of the other people are alleging in the lawsuit?
Yes.
Now, Diddy and Kim Porter's relationship was definitely described by many that was close quarters as toxic. Many allege there may have been some foul play in Kim Porter's death with Diddy's name written all over it. This is crazy, and it doesn't stop here. Diddy is the devil. Jennifer Lopez, she was also mentioned in the investigation, and as you know, Jennifer Lopez and Diddy dated for years. Now, it's strange because neither J-Lo or Diddy, in all the years after they've split up and asked questions about their relationship, it's always vague answers. Neither party has ever disclosed any specific details pertaining to their relationship or the goings on when they were together. I'm thinking maybe they signed a non-disclosure agreement between the two of them, or maybe this is something they don't want to incriminate each other, but there's nothing specific ever said from either side about their relationship. Or here's something else to ponder. Maybe Jennifer Lopez is just waiting it out. Maybe she's waiting it out, waiting until Puffy goes to jail, and he's gonna go to jail for a long time, or something else drastic happens, and then maybe she'll come out with all the truth and details. Well, with all of the details, her version of the details and her version of the truth, in which Diddy will not be able to rebut or give his side. And if he does, it's going to be from prison, and it's not going to be credible. No. Maybe that's the card that J-Lo is waiting to play. Diddy's also being accused of making sexual gestures towards female employees. One woman discussed Diddy's audacity. She denied him in his attempts to come at her and sexually exploit her. So Diddy approached her boss, trying to get leverage and get consent to be or sexually involved with this young lady. So in my mind, this is a sociopath that won't accept no for an answer, because like I said, in his mind, it's not relationships, it's ownership. This is how sociopaths think. This is Diddy's, this is reality. Diddy is not only a wolf dressed in sheep clothing, but Diddy is the devil. Those close to Puffy says that his jealousy runs deep, so deep. In fact, he was very jealous of Biggie. Yes, Diddy wasn't only jealous of Biggie, but also jealous of Tupac's and Biggie's relationship. Diddy's jealousy and envy allegedly led him to have a hand in both Biggie and Tupac's death. Yes, I said it. His jealousy is what alleged many to think and believe that Diddy indeed had a hand in Biggie and Tupac's murder. Diddy's like a broken faucet. He's either extremely hot or super cold. So the timing of all of the media investigations couldn't be any worse for Diddy. On the heels of a grand jury being selected and witnesses being contacted to possibly testify in court, the timing couldn't be worse for Diddy. This thing is crazy. See, the timing of this investigation couldn't be any worse for Diddy with his Rolling Stone 6-month investigation on Diddy, because the jury has now been selected. So here's the thing. Now let's look at the timing of the release of that video. That Cassie abuse video in the Intercontinental Hotel that was released over a week ago. The timing couldn't have been worse for Diddy, because guess who all saw that video? All the jurors. all the jurors saw that video before being selected to go on jury to be one of the jurors on Diddy's trial. They already been selected. They wouldn't have been able to see that video because all of the media and all the circuses are cut off to them. They're excluded from all of that. However, this was strategic, I believe, by the prosecution. They perfectly timed the release, although they labeled it accidental. This was totally on purpose. This was strategic, and the timing was perfect to nab Diddy, because all of those jurors, they sat and watched that video, and now they're on the jury, and it's impossible for them not to already have deemed Diddy guilty. Now, Diddy appears to be this huge music mogul, right? That's how we perceive Diddy. Bigger than life on the outside, but yet on the inside, Diddy is a frightened, lonely, bitter, and insecure little kid who learned how to avoid healing by exploiting and using others for his own selfish desires. Now, rather than healing, Diddy learned to put people, places, and things into his gaps of insecurities. Now, the problem with this is that it's unsustainable. The desire only gets bigger. You only want more money. You only want more satisfaction. So it's unsustainable, and ultimately it gets worse, and then you implode. And that's what we're seeing right before our eyes. We're seeing what we used to perceive as this bigger than life mogul, right? On the outside. But we're learning that on the inside, he was not the same. On the inside, he's the unhealed, bitter, insecure, selfish little boy that gained access to money and things and learned how to put those people, place, and things into his gaps of insecurities. But that's not healing. And eventually, it was unsustainable. And then those gaps of insecurities gain momentum, gain muscles. And now they're exposing Diddy at the worst possible time, because whatever is done in the dark, it will eventually come to light. Now, all these jurors' minds have already been tainted that Diddy is guilty. But listen, for much is given, much is required. None of us escapes life free. We all have to account for all of our words, all of our thoughts, and all of our actions, all of our energy that we put into the universe. We all have to account for it before we depart. Even you, Diddy. So listen, let this be a lesson to all of us. Let's stay in alignment with our truth. 0% compromise for our lives, regardless of how good or how beneficial it appear to be. Never defile yourself or compromise your moral standards or your inner convictions. I appreciate you, but more importantly, you got to appreciate you. You are important, you are necessary, and you are sufficient. There's nobody in all the world greater than you. You just gotta believe that. I believe in you. Now it's time for you to believe in you. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. You are necessary, you are important, and you are sufficient. Go out and be great. More importantly, be blessed.